lose! I don't lose! I win! I win!
Alright guys, so in today's video we're going to be taking some more time here to go over some PlayStation 5 information. And I do want to let you know right off the bat that both of these things are in rumor territory, but I do find both of them pretty interesting. The first actually has to do with the release date of the PlayStation 5, which I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe this rumor, but I thought maybe it was worth going over. And I just wanted to basically give my thoughts on that and let you know why I wouldn't believe this rumor. But the second is much more interesting in my opinion. It has to do with the power of the PlayStation 5 and how apparently we're hearing more whispers from apparently people who are on the inside who are aware of what's going on and have the details that we don't, that the PlayStation 5 actually edges out Project Scarlett in terms of which console is more powerful, which is always a very fun and interesting topic to dive into. So starting off here with the rumored release date of the PlayStation 5 says that according to a new report, the PlayStation 5 may be releasing a bit later than most expect. As you may know, Sony has confirmed the PS5 will launch sometime during the holiday 2020 window. Most have taken this and are assuming the system will release sometime in either October or November. However, a new report claims the PS5 may actually be releasing in December. That's right. According to one outlet, the PlayStation 5 will release sometime in December. When exactly in the Christmas month wasn't divulged, but the outlet says its sources have confirmed that Sony has opted to release the console very late into 2020, presumably after Microsoft releases the Xbox Scarlett. The report comes way of Tweaktown, a site that previously reported that AMD would provide the console with semi-custom designs using Zen 2 and Navi technologies before it was officially revealed. In other words, this just isn't a random Reddit user or a sketchy 4chan leaker. However, that doesn't mean this shouldn't be taken with a grain of salt. So this is a pretty interesting one that has popped up here. I'm not going to lie, mainly because of what they mentioned here towards the end, where this isn't just coming from a random source in, an unnamed source. It's coming from a place where they have been correct in the past about things, which I will say does lend a bit of credibility. And I know that in the beginning of this video I was very quick to kind of brush this off saying it's fake, but it is worth noting that I don't believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Sony has ever released a console in December, for good reason. Why would they? I don't think that Sony is going to actually release the PlayStation 5 in December of 2020. That just seems too late. The whole idea is they want to release it at a time when people are out there shopping for the holidays, right? And it's not that people don't shop during December, but it's just that a lot of people, I'd go as far as even to say most people, tend to do the bulk of their shopping and the bigger parts of their shopping during the November month. And this is why a lot of times anytime you see new big releases like this, and even with just games in general, they always target like the late October to mid-November release time frame. And I think that this could potentially be a bad move on Sony's part if it were to be true, simply because we know there's no way Microsoft would also release their console in December. There's no way I could see a scenario in which both Sony and Microsoft are both releasing their consoles in December. It just doesn't make sense. It's too soon. It's too close to Christmas, really, for them to be doing that. So we know that Microsoft is undoubtedly going to be releasing Project Scarlett sometime in November, most likely mid-November. I just don't see Sony basically saying, yeah, we'll just let them have that entire month and we'll just wait. Why would they do that? What would they have to gain by doing that? I don't think that they would have anything to gain, but honestly a lot to lose. So, this source is saying that they've heard this from, internally from Sony, and it was relayed to them, but I just don't buy it. Now, if it ends up being true, I'll be the first to say, wow, I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. But again, Sony in the past has always released their new consoles in November. I do not see them just deciding for some reason with the PlayStation 5, just changing that up. Just like we all predicted the name of the console would be the PlayStation 5. I mean, why would Sony deviate from that? It's so perfect, right? Why would they call it anything other than the PlayStation 5? I have to ask the same question here. Why would Sony not release their fifth home console in November when they've released all their other consoles in that same month? It just doesn't make sense. But moving on from that, we're going to get to the power factor of the PlayStation 5. And this is, I want to let you know that this comes from Reset Era. And I personally do not really spend time on Reset Era. Although maybe I should start trying to spend more time there. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff on there that I'm just not interested in. But there are people on Reset Era on this forum, and I'm going to link it down below. I'm going to link this thread down below. It's a very long thread. You can check it out for yourself. I did not go over the entire thing because it's like over 300 and something pages long. But I think I found the most interesting bit of this thread. And I'm only prefacing this because I do want you to understand that, like, I'm not trying to sit here to, I'm not the one sitting here saying that, oh, the PlayStation 5 is more powerful, it's confirmed, this or that. I'm not saying that. In fact, I think you might be quite surprised at what I'm going to say by the end of this. But there is an individual on Reset Era that goes by the name Klee Game Fan. And if I'm not mistaken, and somebody please correct me if I am, but if I'm not mistaken, I was told that this is the same individual that we talked about yesterday who talked about what they saw during the private demonstration of an open world PlayStation 5 game, or the demo running on a PS5, and how blown away they were by what they saw. If I'm not mistaken, people have told me this is the same individual, and this individual has been verified by other moderators and individuals who are also verified themselves to be industry insiders who roam around on Reset Era and spend time there. This individual, Klee Game Fan, has been verified to be an insider. And he started conversating with some other individuals on Reset Era. And somebody asked the question, yeah, but which console is more powerful? And he said, do you really want to know? And then he put a spoiler warning, and if you click on that, he said, it's not what you expect. Now, I'm not going to post the entire thread here, it's just too long, but essentially, to break it down for you, what ended up happening is people really started to get interested. Like, are you saying the PS5 is more powerful? He said, nope. Are you saying that Project Scarlett's more powerful? He said, nope. Are you saying that Google Stadia is more powerful? He said nope. And he's clearly kind of messing with people here a little bit because he doesn't want to reveal too much. But essentially what he ended up saying is that by the end of all this, that the PlayStation 5 does have the slight power advantage, mainly because everybody is expecting, based off of where Microsoft currently sits with the Xbox One X, for them to have the more powerful console with Project Scarlett. And he's saying, essentially, if you go further into this thread or you read the entire thing, he is saying that the PlayStation 5 is the console that most people are not expecting to have the power advantage or the slight edge, but it's actually going to. And this lines up, this is important, this lines up with what we have been hearing ever since dev kits have been out in the wild. We know that dev kits shipped sometime in 2018, and ever since then we've been hearing from the likes of Andrew Reiner from Game Informer, as well as Colin Moriarty from the Sacred Symbols podcast. We've been hearing from these individuals that they've been hearing, and they have contacts, that the PlayStation 5 is the more powerful console. And so here's another really important part we need to highlight about what Klee Game Fan had to say here. He really went on to emphasize, and this is exactly where I stand, I've made this very clear in the last video I made talking about this, that the difference is going to be negligible. There's really not going to be that big of a difference this time around. The power factor is going to be essentially the same between Project Scarlett and PS5. And in this case, if the PS5 is more powerful, it's only going to be by probably 10% or less. And I've been saying this for a while. It just makes total sense. Neither console is going to have like 3 more teraflops than the other, or even 2 more teraflops, or anything like that. It's not going to be that far-fetched. The difference is really going to come down to all the extra bells and whistles that each console is going to offer and how developers are going to utilize them. That's really what the difference is going to come down to. Of course, we know that Digital Foundry is going to break these things down to the very bare minimum, every last detail. That's what they do. That's what they do best. And we're going to know for sure exactly which games run better on which console. But I'm just saying this, and I'm talking about this because this seems to be a very persistent rumor that is not going away. And as we like to say, where there's smoke, there's usually a fire. And in this case, the fire, to me, seems to be saying that the PlayStation 5 is going to be the more powerful console. Now, you guys know I'm trying real hard to just stay away from the whole console war stuff. I mean, I can't help it. I do like talking about Xbox and PlayStation, and it's fun. But in all seriousness, like, there are a lot of, or at least a fair amount, I don't want to say a lot, but there's a fair amount of Xbox fans, we should say hardcore Xbox fans, who really are kind of going in with the idea or trying to make it seem as though and convince others that Project Scarlett is undoubtedly it's understandable why they have this mindset. We saw how hard Microsoft went in with the Xbox One X, saying this is the world's most powerful console, and they just really went in hard with this notion of we're never going to be beat again. A lot of these hardcore Xbox fans are basically banking on the idea that, you can take it to the bank that Project Scarlett's going to be the more powerful console. And so to me, what will ultimately be it'll be very funny and humorous. Even if there is no difference, it's going to be humorous if when it's all said and done by this time, 2020, we know that the PS5, even if it's just by 5%, is going to be the more powerful console. I mean, will it matter? No, it's not going to matter. But, these guys set themselves up for this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who's out here making it sound like power's everything, power matters, Listen, it does only to the extent that you're going to want to see a big leap forward if you're somebody investing in a next-gen console. It's not going to matter too much when, at the end of the day, you're going to want to make your decision based off of what games are on offer, where your friends are playing, what features are available, but most people will tell you that at the end of the day, it comes down to the games. And I feel like a broken record having to say this, but the sad truth is every time we have this conversation, we do need to remind people that for most gamers, the games matter more than anything else, and so in this case, I think that's truly what it's going to come down to, more so than ever. I think that because when these consoles are revealed, we're going to find out they're essentially the same, so what it's really going to come down to is, wait, okay, who has the better lineup of games? Well, this is where, I said it before and I'll say it again, Sony already has the distinct advantage with gamers already know to expect a follow-up to God of War 2018, Spider-Man 2, a sequel to Days Gone potentially, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and the list just honestly goes on. So this is where Sony already has that huge advantage to where, if people look at the consoles and say they're essentially the same, well, why not go with the one, and especially if they're going to be the same price, why not go with the one that just offers more games? And, I'm just going to say it, better games. I mean, really. Again, I'm not trying to start like some kind of flame war with this conversation, but I thought that this was very interesting, and I did see some of you telling me that I should talk about this because it was a pretty interesting thread. Again, I'm going to link it down below if you're interested in checking out, the bulk of it for yourself. Go ahead and do that. But really, the point of this video is that I do not believe that Sony is going to be releasing the PlayStation 5 in December. I would be shocked if they did. And B, the rumor of the PlayStation 5 being the more powerful of the two consoles is persistent, and it's still here. And it's going to be very interesting to see if this rumor continues to persist going into 2020. But that does it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I appreciate all of the support you guys have been showing me recently. It does not go unnoticed, and I know I don't thank you enough, but just wanted to take a second here to thank you guys. Really means a lot. So leave your thoughts down below. Leave the video a like if you enjoyed it or found it informative at all. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.